Absolutely. And early in the game, the difference between getting 200 on a heal or 100 is enormous because the life
Oh yeah.
bars, everybody only starts with, around 4 to 500 health. So the difference of that 100 on the summoner heal can just be absolutely huge. Anyway, we haven't talked too much about the top lane. There is an Aurelia on the side of Team Pure. So we didn't see Aurelia in that last game. She is played quite a bit right now in competitive play. She's another champion that scales well in the late game, but is relatively weak early on in the laning phase. So one thing that we might have to look back at after this match is to see Team Pure keeps sort of picking these late game team comps against Curse, who's playing these sort of very aggressive, dominate the lane style. That might not end up being, if Pure looks back at this afterwards, they might want to reconsider going for like sort of these very late game team comps because they seem to be having trouble reaching that point, at least based on what we saw in that first match. Maybe things will go better in this one.
We do see that Curse has picked up the all boots, all potions, and a couple wards build once again, and they are going for yet another aggressive jungle invade. But Pura seems to be doing the same exact thing they did last game, where they're just going to be content in trading blue buffs, it looks like. So, even though they swapped up roles on Curse, they have the same items that every person did last game. So, guess they're a little bit familiar with each other's roles. Either that or, they all start out with the same items.
They do indeed have exactly the same items. That's quite interesting. I noticed that Sona actually does have the mana potion, which is something you don't see too often there, but has indeed chosen to pick one up there. Obviously wants to use that for the harass in early game. We'll see how well that ends up going right now. If I'm Team Pure, I really don't want to pick a level 1 fight right now. With that Alistar on Team Curse, I feel like they will definitely lose, and they've picked a very interesting place to hang out. Hanging out in the wolf pit of Team Pure. A very unusual spot. You don't normally see people hiding here. So we'll see if this works out, or we'll see if Nautilus, or not Nautilus, thinking of the last game, we'll see if Nocturne tries to come over here, and if he turns into that little wolf pit and finds just all 5 members of the enemy team there, that would be a very unpleasant surprise for him.
No, it would not be the best places to check, although no one usually expects the wolf pit. So if you turn the corner around that bush and all of a sudden there's a bunch of enemies right there, you're just like, well, I didn't see that coming at all. Interestingly enough, Curse is going to leave the wolf camp with the 2 little wolves, so as Olaf continues through his jungle pattern, we could just see a little bit of a stumble for Nocturne. He's not going to have that camp respawning. He isn't going to have the big wolf for the full experience, and perhaps a life heal he might need throughout his jungle pattern. And it's going to be very, very annoying as Olaf is going to clear out these lizards. No, he's actually going to leave one of the lizards, so basically Nocturne has half a jungle at this point.
Here we go again with the early aggression right away at level 1. Alistar alongside a colleague going after Aurelia up there in top lane, forces the flash. Fortunately, Alistar is only level 1, so he does not have headbutt and pulverize. Only his pulverize right there, but still a flash already down in top lane. And it looks like Alistar is finally heading back down to bottom lane, but he has certainly done his job already by getting that flash down. Nijaki having a little bit of trouble right now. Because he's by himself, he is getting denied a little bit in bottom lane, taking a little bit of harassment from Sona's Q. He should be okay right now, and the amount of damage that they've done to set behind Nocturne in the jungle for Team Pure looks like it's probably means it's worth it. Here comes the gank in mid. Pobelter coming out with that double buff. The Vlad slow from the pool. That ignite should get the first blood. It will take first blood right there. Now they're chasing on to Nocturne, not going to get it, but another early jungle gank that succeeds for Team Curse, coming out just in exactly the right moment and exactly the right spot. And as we mentioned before, Mordekaiser with no natural escape skills only has his flash, and with the slow from Olaf's axe, with the slow from Vlad's pool, and of course that red buff ticking, just not able to make his escape there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mordekaiser is super, super exposed in the middle lane, so his lack of escapes is even further emphasized by the fact that the jungler can come from 2 different directions, and there isn't a lot of place to run except for back at that point. But just judging by these matchups, now that we know Akali is top and Vladder is in the middle, I think this is possibly the best matchups Curse could have asked for. I think Mordekaiser really would have torn apart Akali in the middle lane, considering they're both melee range champions, and he does have the AoE to hit her while she's in that Twilight Shroud. However, Aurelia's not really going to be able to harass that on Akali. She's going to be invisible for the most of the laning phase.
We do actually have a gank coming out in bottom lane. Once again, Pobelter going in. Rocket jump from Nijaki, going to pick up the second kill on to Sona right there. And Pobelter is going to survive that one. So double kill in bottom lane for Team Curse. And they are doing off to exactly the same start that they had in that last match. A nice gank from Pobelter. I'm amazed he managed to get in there because it's very well warded by Team Pure. They actually have a ward right in the Tribrush and another one by Dragon. So I'm surprised he managed to get in there and get out without Team Pure just seeing him coming and backing, but it looks like his timing was perfect, and the reflexes maybe just not quite fast enough on the part of Team Pure as they get picked up, and they end up suffering the double kill down there in bottom lane.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of an unfortunate thing for Team Pure. It does look like, though, that
Element's in a lot of trouble in top lane, though. Nocturne's flashing in. Is he going to die to tower? Let's see, he is going to fall, and this is going to be a double kill for Elements in top lane. The tower, too overpowered, escapes into that Twilight Shroud and manages to get out. We actually even have another kill mid. I'm going to rewind just for a second to watch that fight in middle lane. We have Alistar coming up to middle lane, getting up the headbutt and the pulverize, and the Vlad pool going to do the rest, getting the slows. St. Vicious going to flash out. Yes, St. Vicious is playing Vlad, and that's going to be enough to pick up the kill there as well.
You know, two interesting things. First of all, the bottom lane, the tower has already been taken down by Najaki, so that farm lane of Ashe and Sona not going exactly where they want to. Without a tower to run back to, they really can't extend too far in the lane. Otherwise, Pobelter has already shown a tendency to be able to gank through wards on the bottom lane. So Ashe and Sona not in a very safe spot after all, especially with no tower down there. And second off, I'd like to point out that I think Curse is doing a better job playing swapped roles than they were playing their real roles in the first game.
They seem to be encountering no problems at all thus far. I'm going back to what you said a second ago, Tom. I'm just surprised that they went with the Ashe Sona pick down here, just knowing how aggressive Curse wants to be. Why they went with sort of this late game, we're gonna just try to farm the lane comp, when they had already seen the Alistar pick coming out from Curse, so they had to have known it was going to be a very aggressive lane bottom. It just feels like they weren't really picking their bottom lane around the matchup that they had right there. And we've already seen the problem with it. Their bottom lane has already suffered 2 deaths, and they're just not really able to farm. I mean, they lost their tower at what, the 5-minute mark?
Something like that.
Something like that. Something you don't want to see. Anyway, we do have a little bit of an engage up in top lane. It feels as though in top, Aurelia's kind of doing the best. I mean, well, maybe not. Her farm is quite low, but then again, everybody's farm is low across the board. But I do feel like that's probably the matchup that works the best for them, just because Aurelia has that natural sustain to put up with Akali's harassment in lane. And as long as she's not ganked, she should be able to do okay in that particular laning matchup.
And the thing is, Aurelia is the one with natural crowd control reduction on her passive. So even if they do gank Aurelia, she's going to have a little bit of an edge over like an Alistar or someone else coming in for a gank.
We have a monster gank coming down here in bottom lane with no bottom tower. Both Pobelter playing as Olaf and Kopp playing as Alistar went a long, long way around through the jungle of Team Pure. Went around the wards and just were able to get that. There's a fight going on in mid as well. Not sure if anyone's going to die here. There is the Mordekaiser ult on top of Vlad, and here comes Nocturne, but Nocturne is nowhere close to level 6, so not going to be able to do anything. That was just a huge invasion, sweeping all the way past around the red buff and coming in behind both Sona and Ashe, picking up another 2 kills right there. And at this point, Ashe just can't even farm. There's no tower, there's no place she can farm safely, and is going to fall even further behind in that bottom lane. Already 1,000 gold behind just in the bottom lane between the 2 ADs.
And we see over here that Pobelter picking up a kill on Mordekaiser, who went around to try to take his own raids. Curse just has this map in such a dominant place right now. They won't even let the enemy team go into their own jungle right now. So Pobelter super far ahead on Olaf, 3-0 and 2 with a Hex Drink already. They're even just going to dive
on the Nocturne, and he just needed to give up that tower, because by staying there, that's exactly what was going to happen. Spell Shield or no, he's going to get CC'd, and that is going to be the end of it. And now St. Vicious going the long way around again on that gank, but it has been warded this time. There is a ward at the red buff of Team Pure, so they were able to see that one coming, but it's not a good position to be in when you are at the 8.5 minute mark. Your AD and support are both level 4, and they're huddled up against not their first tower, but their second tower down in the bottom lane.
Normally when you're huddled up against your second tower and that Tristana is pushed so far out by herself, your jungler has a clear path to a gank. But unfortunately, Nocturne, just level 5 in the jungle, doesn't really have any items to his name. Has a Pure Acceptor and a longsword. That's about it. He just does not have the presence. He just does not have the time to go over and take advantage of the fact that Tristana is A, by herself, and B, so overextended at this point in time.
Here comes the gank mid onto Mordekaiser again. He is going to flash. We'll see if that is able to get him out of it. There is a kill in top lane as well. Going to keep the camera focused mid while we watch this. Just everybody diving on Mordekaiser. Elements is going to get that with his Shadow Dash. And we'll see if they're going to turn onto Nocturne next. There was a lot of damage taken from that fight. Did you see what happened in the fight up in top lane? I was watching the fight in mid.
Top lane, Pobelter and Cocaine are basically trading blows at one another. Pobelter had an axe down onto Aurelia, so he figured he could go in with that one, but unfortunately Aurelia sustained just a little bit too much for Olaf. Olaf is going to be damaging himself with those reckless swings, and Aurelia sustained was just a little bit too much, so Pobelter was just a little bit of a misjudge there. Wasn't able to get the 1 or 2 hits required to take down Aurelia, so unfortunately she picked up a kill.
Dive on Sona mid, coming out from behind the tower, Pop tanking it with Alistar ult. Just diving onto that and picking up another kill. Meanwhile, a 1v1 kill in bottom lane. Nijaki picking up the kill onto Zygian, the Nocturne player right there. And he is just so much stronger right now. He's actually gone for a recurve bow, so he is building something very unusual for an AD carry right now. Meanwhile, Elements is just lurking in the wings. You mentioned how Nocturne is so underfarmed. Oh, there comes the dive in, leaping in with that rocket jump. Here comes Aurelia, or here comes Akali as well. And they are going to get that kill. The summoner heal keeping Nijaki alive right there, just barely. So they're going to be able to pick off that kill as we see another kill up in top lane. Olaf getting another kill. But just to finish the point I was on a minute ago, we mentioned that Nocturne is so far behind. It's because he has no jungle. The enemy team is in his jungle the whole game. There's no creeps for him to farm. So there's just nothing he can do. He can't get levels. He can't get gold. He's going to be underfarmed because he turns around. They're at his Wraith camp. They're at his Wolf camp 24/7. There's nothing for him to grab. Pobelter's going to steal the Wolf camp yet again. So there's really nothing he can do.
Yeah, the entire team is really involved in counter jungling at this point. As we saw before in Akali gank, Metal, she came from the enemy's bottom jungle, and she's in the top lane. So they just have such map dominance over the enemy team. They don't even have wards at this point. They are basically their own wards with how mobile they're being. Look at this, Elements coming in, putting a ward by the Wraiths from the enemy jungle over here. He's even just making sure they might even have timers down on the enemy jungle at this point in time. Unfortunately, we can't really see their chat, so we don't know, but Alistar has an early Oracle's Elixir. They're just denying vision everywhere and letting things like this tower dive in the middle happen.
Yeah, here comes another dive, using Alistar to jump in there to get that headbutt pulverize combination. And it doesn't feel like they're even trying to take the towers down. They're just ignoring the towers and diving for kills, almost like we're playing Dota here instead of League of Legends. They just don't even care about the towers. And just hanging out in the brush, just waiting. Cop does have that Oracle, so whatever wards Team Pure is putting down are getting cleared out regardless. And we'll see if they finally do decide to take this mid tower. It looks like they may be making a play on Sona. There is the headbutt. There goes the pulverize as well. Diving in, Vlad ult coming out. The Nocturne ult has come down to deny vision, but I'm not sure that it matters, as both Nocturne and Sona will fall once again under their own tower, but just completely unable to survive, even huddled underneath their own tower for protection. And again, as I said, Curse, it looks like they may finally be trying to take these towers, or they might just continue to have their fun just killing the members of the enemy team over and over and over again, as they've just snowballed completely out of control in this match. Pobelter even picking up another kill in top lane, grabbing, I don't know if he had double buff already or if he grabbed it in the process, but just going to make him that much harder to kill. And another kill down in bottom lane as well. I'm not even going to rewind at this point. There's just been so many kills, you can't even keep up with this much, all the action that's going on across the map.
It's just a super active game. Like you mentioned, the champions select, because of Pure's tendency to go for these later game champions, they don't really have anything to combat with the super aggression coming out of Curse right now.
Oh my god. Pobelter killed the Sona player in 2 hits. He did die there, but he just used his reckless swing, he used his auto attack, and he just absolutely exploded Sona in literally 2 hits.
It's like a Sona be gone. It's like he shakes a can and all of a sudden she disappeared. But still, Team Pure just does not have any early game presence to contend the aggression. Like right now, looking at Curse's lineup, like Akali's a snowball into late game champion. Vladimir is even considered more of a late game champion. Tristana has early aggression in the bottom lane. But because of how aggressive Curse plays these champions, the late game picks of Pure are just not able to do anything. Even with Ash's arrow here for the crowd control, not able to pick up a kill and capitalize despite how low everybody was going right there. They do eventually pick up a kill on Elements, but only before Vladimir takes out Ash. So right now, Curse's aggressive style is just too much for, I think, the picks of Pure. Not even too much of a gameplay thing overall, but what happens is Curse is just playing their champions so aggressive. I don't know if Pure has actually encountered anything like this, which is probably a telltale sign of why they picked the champions they have.
No, they may not have just experienced a team that's that's both this talented and this early game focused. Curse suffering a couple deaths there, really just due to over-aggression, hanging around in the enemy team's jungle on about 30% health in a couple cases. It looked like they were just trying to see how far they could push their luck in some of those fights, and it did finally run out. They have had the chance to do Dragon for about the last 7 or 8 minutes. They finally did take it there. Pobelter just soloing it by himself. Easily able to do so at this point. I'm sorry?
I said Pobelter just decided to take it all by himself.
Oh, yes, Pobelter just decided to take it. And it looks like Pobelter's going to dive on Ashe once again in bottom lane. Anytime Ashe moves more than an inch away from her tower, she just has 2 champions in her face constantly. There's the undertow for the slow. Let's see if they're going to be able to chase us down. There's no way Axe is going to be able to escape this. Who is going to get the kill? Pobelter is going to take that one. But again, you just see how they make it completely impossible for Purefunk, the Ashe player, in order to farm. As soon as he comes out from his tower, there's 2 champions leaping on him. There's nowhere for him to go. He just dies instantly. A big fight happening in mid. St. Vicious taking a lot of damage. Nocturne out coming out as well. It looks like St. Vicious is going to fall here. They will get the ghost. There is going to be a kill on the part of Nijackie as well. Was able to pick up Aurelia right there. They may be able to finish off Nijackie as well here, although Elements is coming into the fight. Rocket jump away. It did reset on that kill. And here comes Cop into the fight as well, initiating with Headbutt Pole, allowing Nijackie just to DPS there in the back. I'm going to get that kill. Ashe here coming in. Rocket jump again cooling down on that kill. But I don't think they're going to be able to get another kill, although Pobelter is coming up from bottom lane, so hold the phone here. They may very well be diving this any second now. We'll see how they choose to play it, see how aggressive they choose to be. There is the Headbutt Pole initiation from Cop. In comes Nijackie. He does get exhausted. Now the focus will shift to Sona. She will fall as well. Elements will be finished off by the tower. There goes Mordekaiser. That is nearly an ace. I believe would have been an ace, except that Aurelia had already revived after that last fight. And it looks like middle lane tower is soon to fall as well, as Nijackie is just sitting there, poking away with it with his fire hose there is Tristana. And this one is really snowballing out of control right now with 28 kills for Team Curse.
Not to mention that there are 5 towers to none. It is basically a 33,000 to an 18,000 gold lead in favor of Curse. So they have the map presence, they have the kill advantage, they have the gold advantage, and they're just completely running away with this game. Just despite the fact that, you know, they're A, playing different roles, and B, you know, the over-aggression might be able to be capitalized by a different kind of team, but as we mentioned before, Pure with their champion choices and the fact that they just might not have seen this right now, don't know what to do. Ashe actually getting a rare chance to farm the bottom lane over here, but I don't know if St. Vicious is going to let her do this as he's coming down into the bottom lane. Just such denial of farm from that range carry position on the bottom lane, and the constant counter jungling, not just by the enemy jungler, but by the entire team, is just something I haven't really seen out of any kind of pro team or any style team at all. St. Vicious may wind up biting off more he can chew here, as he does wind up getting finally taken down by 3 members of Pure. But not even just the over-aggression on kills, the over-aggression on taking everything away from the enemy team. It's like complete denial of your League of Legends game, and Curse is just dominating because of it.
Yeah, the initiation's coming out onto Cop, but Cop will probably be okay. As Alistar, he can just ult to break the crowd control, and he becomes super tanky as soon as he uses that. Meanwhile, Pobelter is so strong at this point, he should just be able to kill pretty much anyone. With that red buff, he can chase anyone on Team Pure down, just picking up the triple kill right there. So even though there was a nice play to pick off St. Vicious, who was way overly aggressive in bottom lane, Pobelter, though, is just killing everybody. Picks up 4 kills right there in that sequence. Once he gets that red buff as Olaf, it's just about impossible to escape. You mentioned the aggressive style of play. It's probably something that Team Pure just hasn't seen before. They're not nearly as experienced as a team, not as well known as a team, as we see Curse heading up here towards the Baron. Looks like they're going to take this uncontested at the 18-minute mark. Curse, though, of course, has a lot of tournament experience. They've played against teams that are known for aggressive playstyle. They've played against teams like Moscow 5 that are, you know, really popularized the jungle invasion, the whole thing where we're going to make you fight, we're going to make you work for every single thing in your jungle, we're going to be invading you 24/7. The experience of having played against teams like that clearly helping out Curse in a match like this. They are used to playing an aggressive playstyle, and Pure, as we've mentioned, the difference in experience showing. We've actually got all kinds of troll builds coming out right now from Team Curse. We've got double Magi Soul Stealers, a Magi Soul Stealer on support Alistar, Right now, Nijaki is going on hit effect Tristana. He has the Wits End, Malady, and Ionic Spark, so he's stacking the attack speed and the on hit effects, which I believe has been mathematically proven to be like much worse than just a straight AD build.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but any champion that gets an Ionic Spark is a good champion in my heart.
Well, we have to watch to see the lightning effects the next time he's in a team fight. Every 4 attacks he'll get that lightning, and he's going to be attacking pretty fast between his Q. He only has 2 points in his rapid fire, but he does have a lot of attack speed right now. He's it doesn't show attack speed.
2.3.
2.3. Wow. So he can max it. Yeah. When he uses his rapid fire, he does go to almost 2.3 attacks per second. That is quite fast. Anyway, the dive coming out here in top lane from Curse. St. Vicious is going to fall. This is a little bit of a silly fight on the part of Team Curse. I know they're ahead, but they're taking a lot of tower shots. I'm sure they're going to win the fight anyway, just based on how ahead they are. But they did end up losing St. Vicious in that fight here. We'll see with Pobelter continuing to dive. He picks off another fight, goes legendary in the process. There goes another member of Team Pure. It looks like Nocturne's about to fall as well. Elements picking up the double kill. Pobelter going to survive with 50 HP. And that's the ace, a 5-for-1 ace right there. Just way too far ahead at this point. 20,000 gold ahead. Nothing that Team Pure can do. They're just too far behind. 15 kills on Pobelter, 37 kills on Team Curse overall.
Yeah, just all in all right now, Curse completely running away with this one. I think that tower dive was just a testament to how far ahead they are of Team Pure right now. I'm really loving the lightning effects on Nijaki right now. It's really awesome to see, especially because of his maxed out attack speed when he activates his Q. That's 2.5 attacks every second. That means that like every second and a half we're gonna see lightning shooting out of him.
Here he goes. Going in after Ash. The lightning so strong. He is gonna get that kill. Elements leaping in as well. Elements better use his stealth in that Twilight Shroud to good effect, because there are a lot of members of Team Pure chasing after him. And he's going to fall to Aurelia's ultimate right there. Comp coming in a little bit too late. Not sure how much it really matters at this point. Nijaki's going to take this blue buff. The lightning proccing again, showing that Golem who's boss. St. Vicious, meanwhile, split pushing down in the bottom lane. St. Vicious has managed to finish a Will of the Ancients and his Rhyolized Crystal Scepter. Let's see how many stacks he has. Only has 2 stacks on the Soul Stealer because he did die in that last fight. But look at Pobelter's items. He has so many items right now on that build. And right there, he's going to pick up another kill. Going legendary again. St. Vicious, though, going to die to Mordekaiser. So Saint has been out of position a fair amount in this game. But Pobelter is just killing everybody in fight after fight. He's way too tanky to be killed. He has so much health. When he pops his ult, he can't be CC'd. Cop is actually going to miss that headbutt Pulve combo. He only gets the headbutt, but it doesn't matter because Pobelter can just walk through every crowd control and just continue killing everyone on Team Pure. That's his 20th kill of the match. Let's see, let me see if I can pull up his stats here right now. He's got 3,000 health. He actually doesn't have that much armor or MR, but he has 267 attack damage. And again, if he has red buff and he has his ultimate intact, you really just can't stop him. He just walks through any crowd control. And if he's got red buff, he slows on every attack. So just impossible to get away from him.
He's already got a Frozen Mallet on top of red buff on top of Undertow. No one's going to be escaping from Pobelter. But I think the main story is right now, the 13 stack Soul Engorgement Alistar right now.
Yeah, and with no kills either, all from assists. Every single one of his 13 stacks solely from assists. He's got the death cap now, so we're seeing a low. Right now we have another fight initiating. Nijaki just standing in the back, using that lightning proc on every single member of the team. They really need to jump on top of him, but I believe he still does have his rocket jump up. There he goes over the wall, gonna be safe. This is a little bit of what we saw in Season 1 at the DreamHack Finals, when we used to see the AP Alistar getting played by Team Fnatic. A little bit of that AP Cal that we really haven't seen in a long time.
Wow, look at Nijaki just leapfrogging from champion to champion. Has a double kill. Is he going to get the triple kill? Gets a triple kill with the lightning proc on Mordekaiser too. So just right now, Curse is pretty much all in their hands to end this one right now. Big props to Pure for sticking out. Maybe they thought they could come back with their late game team composition if they stuck it out for a little bit longer. But unfortunately, between Nijaki and Pobelter and Elements in the game right now, it's just a little bit too far for Pure to come back from. And I think they're just going to wind up pushing down on these turrets. Might see a couple more kills over there as Cop tries to fight the Fountain turret, but he isn't going to win that one, so he wants to save his stacks and get out of there. But I think this is all but over in favor of Curse.
This one's just a matter of them finishing up the Nexus. Cop actually has 420 AP on, actually now 430 because he just got another assist right there, on his AP Cal right there. People diving into the Fountain. The laser is going to finish off Kobalto. That's the only way he's going to die in this match, is if he walks into the fountain and that laser finishes him off. Just a little bit more back and forth between the two teams here, fighting back and forth. At some point, the Super Minions will finish this one off. It's just a matter of time right now. So Curse manages to finish this one off. We see Nocturne dropping right there to another Akali ultimate right there. Mordekaiser falling as well. There's the double. Will Akali manage to get the triple here? Yes, there's the triple. Will Elements dive into the fountain for the Quadra? Doesn't look like he's going to do that there. And the minions are now in the process of beginning to whittle down the Nexus. So it's a matter of time right now. It's just how many kills Curse is going to manage to pick up here before those minions manage to finish off the Nexus.
Well, if they get one more kill here, Cop is going to have a 20-stack Magi Soul Sealer, and that might be what they're going for.
Yeah, let's see if he can pick it up. He's on the 19 stacks right now. He has 152 ability power. He needs that extra cooldown reduction as a support right there. He needs that 15% CDR reduction.
Very good point.
Actually, I don't think Pure's not going to be able to hold this. The minions are going to finish it off, so he will not get his 20th stack. He'll be left on the wedding altar with his 19 stacks, unfortunately.
Kind of like Runaway Bride Mundo, only Alistar in this case.
All right, so a very dominant victory.